Hey everybody, my name's Remix and today we are doing a tutorial on how to render like a god. So first you want to open up your Lightroom in Cinema 4D. You need to have basic knowledge of Cinema 4D to do this. My Lightroom is the eNav Lightroom. Next you want to go and grab your rig. I'm using the FMR 5.0 edit by Avo, and I'll leave a link to the Lightroom and the rig in the description. I'm not giving these out for free. Avo's Allegiant pack is free, so you can go download that from his channel, but the eNav graphics pack is paid, so that you'll have to buy yourself. I'm not leaking anything. So next what you want to do is just look at your character so far, get a straight look at it. So next you want to turn off the cape if you're using the same rig as me. Turn off the hat layer if you're using the same rig as me. I suggest you do because it's a really cool rig and I like it a lot. Next what you want to do is go grab your skin. So once you've grabbed your skin, you drag it to the skin drop down menu. This all depends on your rig. I suggest you use an FMR rig. And I highly suggest use of the FMR 5.0 avocado edit. Then you go to layers, then you would click unlock FMR body, go to mesh, make those two dots white, then you would go look at it, go to head, make those two dots white, then you select your bulge and your taper. I like to edit the taper first. I would copy paste the taper, drag that back in there, and then I'd go to my rotate tool and rotate it 180 degrees. Not 90, but 180. You have to do 180, otherwise it won't look good. So I'd select both tapers at once by holding shift and clicking on both of them. And then I would turn the strength down to about 3 or 4, depending on your preference. Then I would select the bulge and go to, well, whatever. Make the strength 2 or 3, depending on your preference. Go to extrude mesh head and make those two dots white. Then you go on to your polygonal select kind of mode. Then you would go to your live selection tool. Then you want to select the skin, make sure you're not going to rotate it like I'm about to. Yes, this is pre-recorded. So what you want to do is hit Control-Z to undo anything. After you've made your first selection, you want to hold shift, select all the skin and everything. Not like the actual skin you have, but the skin on your face. Once you've selected that, you want to go select to the sides and everything. Then you want to go to the bottom there, just select that little bit too. Once you've selected that little bit, you want to go to the other side, select the skin there. After you've done that, you want to go back to the front of the face, and then you want to hit delete. And then you get all your special effects like the mouth and the eyes. They're not covered by the extrudes you're making. So then you want to go to the circle selection tool by hitting U plus, and then you want to hit L. Select all the hair. Remember to hold shift after making your first selection. Select everything you want. Remember to select everything. In this rig, everything doesn't look exactly correct with the extruding. So you go back into there, and I'm just going to move the head over because I'm going to deselect the skin under the head so it doesn't look all weird. So you want to scroll under the head with your rotate like camera angles, and then you want to go to your live selection tool. Make sure you're not moving it. Hit Control and deselect all of that. Once you've deselected it all, you want to go back into what you're doing, which is extruding the hair. So make sure that top layer of the head is extruded, otherwise it doesn't look good. Then you want to go make your maximum angle to 91 and make your offset to 2 or 3. 3 usually. I prefer 3. And then you want to, don't mess with anything else. This is all you need. Then you hit apply. And it looks nice. So what you want to go and look around, see if there's any flaws, if there's any like curves in the selection, if there's any like unselected areas. Then you want to go back into your moving mode, and then you want to go, don't select what I just did, select the actual head move tool, move it back to where it's supposed to be by holding shift and moving it. Then what you want to do is look around again, just see if there's any problems. Then you want to go and hit extrude, click on extrude mesh hat, make those 2 dots white, and then you want to go to extrude mesh head. I'm just going to move it because I wasn't thinking right there, and I was moving the extrude mesh head instead of the extrude mesh hat, which you're supposed to be moving. So I look around and then I move it back by hitting Control Z. Make sure you're selecting the red arrow to move it to the sides. Then you want to go back into your polygonal selection mode, and then you want to hit U and then L. Well, scroll to the side with your camera angles. U and then L. Click. Hold shift after you've made your first selection. Click, 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 click. And then look around. Make sure you've selected that back layer of the head of the hat. And then what you want to do is select all that. Once you've selected all of it, I like to make the extrusion 2, and to extrude again, you hit D. And U plus L, hit D, and then hit 1, hit apply. Again, you should have basic knowledge of Cinema 4D, like knowing how to extrude and all, but this is just how to make it look dope. So go look over there and see how the 2 pixels right there are there's nothing in between them. It'll make it all curvy if you don't select a box in between them. It'll make the selection look weird. And you want to hit D, and then you want to make that 2. Don't make it 3. It looks really weird. And check if it looks all good. Looks all good to me. And then you want to go make it detailed now. And this is how, if there's curves, you can move it around so it actually looks right. If there's curves in your selection and you can't do anything about it, you would go into your move tool while you're already in that lined mode right there, and that's how you would edit it. So go back into your polygonal selection mode, go to your live selection tool, select whatever you want. It's depending on the skin what it looks like. I don't do the same extruding style for every single skin, but I always like to extrude everything the same amount of centimeters. Once you've done that, make it 2, and then see how there's a little more detail added to it already. Then you want to go there, select all of that, make that 2, and it looks pretty even more detailed. Select those 2, hit apply, and then it looks a lot more detailed now, but we're not done yet. You got to make it really nice. Once you've selected, see how I didn't hold shift there and it made a whole new selection? You gotta hold shift after making your first selection. So select that. I'm gonna make that 1, hit apply, and then I'll have my skin in the description if you want to copy exactly what I did, just so you can get the hang of it. I'm gonna select those. I'm gonna hit apply 1. I think that looks pretty good, but I don't know about it. Yeah, it looks good enough. And then you want to go to there, select that, make your offset 1 or 2. See, I held shift there before making my first selection and it selected that all. You don't really want to do that, but it kind of looks okay, I guess. I don't know, I don't like it that much. So I'm going to deselect it. Well, not deselect it, I'm just going to hit Control Z, hit apply to those, and then I'm going to do those separately, a different amount. Hit D, and then I'm going to make that 1, hit apply, and then see how it looks all detailed now. It looks pretty nice. So what you want to do is, once you look over it, see how it looks, you want to go back into your normal move selection, your move mode, and then you want to move that back to where it was supposed to be. Hold shift while you're using that, and it'll auto snap, kind of, is what I'm saying. And then look around, see if there's any mess ups with the extrusion, and then you want to go into your actual mesh, click on that, hit the drag down arrow, and then go to mesh body. Make those 2 dots white, hit U, so move your camera angle around, just get it right, U, and then hit U. Remember to go in your polygonal selection mode, and then you want to hit U and then L. Remember to hold shift after your first selection key. You gotta remember that, otherwise it'll completely mess up your game. It'll completely mess up what you're doing. Then you want to hit, and for the clothes, I usually like to apply it as 1. And then for like extra add-ons to the clothes, I usually like to apply it as 2.5. So once you've applied all that, looks good, right? Then you want to hit, then you want to click on that. You want to, well, I'm going to mess with the bulge and the taper on this. Remember, if you're using a different rig, it probably won't have the bulge or the taper on it. So that's why I highly suggest you use Avo's Allegiant rig, aka the FMR5 edit by Avo. I'm going to mess around with the strengths of these so it looks better. And once you're done with that, you just want to look around, see if there's anything messed up, and then you want to maybe mess with it a little more. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. Once you're done doing what you're doing, you want to go extrude the arms next. But first, just look around, just make sure everything looks great, because anything can mess this up. I mean, literally anything. One little mistake is kind of everything. This is why you want it to be perfect. If you're like if this is your first time extruding, this might be a lot harder, but once you get the hang of extruding, it's actually insanely easy. I took this kind of style of extruding from Popeye GFX. This is kind of the style of extruding I like, so this is the style I'm going to do it. So you want to remember to go into your polygonal selection mode, and then you can hit U and then L, and then hit Control, and you can deselect that whole rounded area. Hit Control Z to deselect something you did wrong. Make that 1. Hit apply, and it looks nice. So select all the extras and make that 2.5 on your offset. Hit apply, and then look around, see if it looks all nice. I know I wasn't in the drag down area while doing this, it was kind of dumb, but I'm experienced with this, so I can really just know what I'm doing without the drag down arrow guiding me, telling me, hey, you're extruding this. So I'm going to hit D, make that 2.5, and I did it vice versa this time because I already had that offset selected. So U plus L, remember, and then I already had part of the left arm selected, so remember to extrude the shoulder, and remember to get under the hat layer too, because people can still see it. Make that 1, hit apply, and then after that you want to extrude the legs. remember to hit the white dots, otherwise it might not show up in your render depending on your Lightroom. From what I've learned, I've done this too many times. Alright, so make that area 1, then hit U plus L, and then D1, not 1, 2, not 2.5, it doesn't look good on the shoes. And then you want to go to your other shoe, hit U plus L, Doom, hit apply, if you already have 2.5 selected. Do all your stuff, deselect those two by holding Control and selecting that, and then make your offset 1, hit apply, or enter to apply it. And then I accidentally did that, but see how it looks kind of weird around it? Don't apply the shoes as 2, it just looks so dumb. So dumb. So now you want to start posing your guy. Once you've done, you can like look up poses if you want to, like, I don't know, like cool poses or something. And I always like to move the legs first while posing it. It's all on your preference with the posing too, like whatever you like is what you should do. So I rotated it a little so it doesn't look like, hey, I can bend my legs sideways, how about you? Then I like to I'm gonna move him down a little, like that. Move him to the side a little, maybe move him down some more. Yeah, move him down some more, it looks great. And don't worry about all the controls. All the controls. Don't worry about all the controls showing up, they won't. And I tried to mess with the eyes here and finally realized that in the in Avocado's edit for the FMR5 rig, you cannot move the eyes. So maybe now you want to select your mouth and like move it around just for some more aesthetics, make it look nice, and move it around. It's really hard to select these because it's such a thin area to select. I'm surprised I got those 2 in a row all good. And I'm just going to move it back because I didn't really like it. Hit Control Z to undo something. Control Z, Control Z. So you're back to this. I'm going to move that up a little and that up a little. If I could select it, Lord. It's really hard moving the mouth because the selections have to be precise completely. Next we're going to move the head. Let's move the arms a little too. And move your camera angles just to make it look right. Move your camera angles just to show you that you're doing it right. See how I select the wrist control right there and it does nothing to the arm? You want to select the arm control at the bottom there, otherwise it's not going to do anything. So once you've done that, you want to go click on your rig, scroll to the bottom of the rig, and go to sword right or left and make it iron. I never like to use any other swords. I always use the iron sword. I never actually use the diamond sword. I don't think it looks that good. It's too much of a tint in the Lightroom I always use. So once you're done posing it all, make it look nice, and then you're done posing it, I'm going to move the arm back and move it all here. Move it back so he's holding it backwards. And as I'm moving this, I just want to say thank you for watching the tutorial. This is me kind of signing out right here. Please subscribe for more tutorials. I'll do a banner tutorial next using this exact render. And once I'm done doing this, I guess that's it. And once you're done posing it, you just want to go and move the camera angle and put it spot on to your character so it looks all good. And that's pretty much it. And then you want to hit your render button, and then you're all done. Bye.